Operation Epic Fury.
Some breaking news right now, folks. Iran just launched a devastating strike on one of America's closest allies in the Persian Gulf. Bahrain's largest oil refinery is on fire as you are watching this report, and Iranian missiles and drones are raining down across the region. This is exactly the kind of chaos the mullahs have been threatening for decades. But here's what the mainstream media refuses to report. President Trump saw this coming, and his administration is already executing a master plan that is about to flip the script on Iran's energy blackmail forever. Now, the question is, will America seize this moment to end Tehran's stranglehold on global oil markets once and for all? We're going to find out, because I'm going to tell you exactly what this means for you and your family. Every single time that you fill up your car, every time you pay your electric bill, every time you buy groceries that were shipped across the country, Iran has had its hands in your pocket. You didn't know that, did you? For 47 years, the Islamic Republic has terrorized energy markets, holding the world hostage with threats to choke off the Strait of Hormuz. And now they're doing exactly that, striking Bahrain's Bapco refinery, the financial backbone of an entire nation. Oil prices have already spiked above $115 a barrel, up 72% since the conflict began on February 28th. That is money straight out of your wallet. But here's the bigger picture. Iran is not just attacking oil refineries, they're hitting desalination plants, threatening the water supply of millions of innocent people. This is economic terrorism on a global scale. And the regime in Tehran wants to bring the world to its knees, and they've been getting away with it for nearly 5 decades until now. And speaking of national security and energy independence, there's a developing story we've been tracking for months that connects directly to everything that we are discussing right now. This is what the legacy media doesn't want you to see. Iran is destabilizing the Middle East. They're attacking critical energy infrastructure. But the federal government just made a decision, President Trump, that could reshape America's security posture for generations to come. This is the truth they don't want you to understand. You see, our nuclear subs, our warheads, our next-gen power grid, our aircraft carriers, it all depends on uranium. And we import almost every pound of it from foreign sources. See, it's not about energy independence, it's about survival. Because a nation that can't power its own military doesn't control its own destiny. And that's why smart investors are looking at companies like Atomic Minerals, trading as ATMMF in the United States and ATOM in Canada. When national security and domestic uranium production become a priority, this is exactly the kind of opportunity that could benefit from America's push towards energy sovereignty. Review the full briefing that's been prepared exclusively for Next News viewers. You'll find it linked below. Now let's get back to what's unfolding in the Persian Gulf and why President Trump's strategy is about to change everything. Now here's what Secretary of War just revealed that should have every American cheering. While Iran is launching these desperate attacks, the Trump administration, they've already got a large oil tanker through the Strait of Hormuz with zero issues. You heard that right. Despite Iran's best efforts to terrorize the region, American leadership is already breaking through their blockade. And the secretary says we're massively attriting Iran's ability to strike with missiles and drones. And with that rate of destruction increasing every single day. Energy flow soon, folks. And I'm going to show you exactly what our leaders are saying. Here's Secretary Wright.
Yeah, the plan is to get oil and natural gas and fertilizer and all the products from the Gulf flowing through the straits before too long. And I may break a little news here, but one large tanker has already gone through the straits with no issues at all. So as the general just described, we're massively attriting their ability to strike with missiles and drones. And that rate of attrition will increase in the coming days. So we'll be cautious, we'll be careful, but energy will flow soon. It's one of the reasons the president had to move on this war. Iran has just terrorized America, the neighborhood, and energy markets for 47 years.
Not anymore. Not anymore. That party's over. And the attack on Bahrain's refinery is not just another Middle East strike. It's targeting the lifeline of America's key Gulf ally, setting up a domino effect across the global energy markets. Here's more from Secretary Wright.
The Trump administration has been all in on lowering energy prices, and I would say quite successfully. We've seen a dramatic decline in gasoline prices and diesel prices. Soon you will see it in electricity prices as well. So Trump administration, in stark contrast to the Biden administration, his goal has been to lower energy prices. The Biden administration quite successful in raising energy prices. Gasoline today still $1.50 a gallon cheaper than it was in the middle of the Biden administration. But you're right. We want it back below $3 a gallon, and it will be again before too long.
Well, what do you mean by too long? How much longer?
Look, you never know exactly the time frame of this, but in the worst case, this is a week's. This is not a month's thing. This is Iran has continued to build up their capabilities. First, a massive expansion of their missile program so that they can shield the completion of their nuclear program. It is simply unacceptable for the United States, for the Middle East geography, and for the world economy to have a terrorist regime with nuclear weapons and a gigantic missile arsenal. They've raised energy prices for Americans for decades. It's finally going to come to an end.
Party's over. It's coming to an end. President Trump taking decisive action. Large fire seen this morning. The primary refinery for the Bahrain Petroleum Company, BAPCO, near the capital, following a combined drone and missile attack. Here's some of the footage from that attack, now surfacing on social media, but continuing. The oil price doom criers fail to realize one thing. President Trump already freed the largest oil reserves in Venezuela. Now free the third largest in Iran. China was getting super cheap oil from both. Shortly, all that will go to friends and not enemies. President Trump posting this to Truth Social. Short-term oil prices, which will drop rapidly when the destruction of Iran's nuclear threat is over. Small price to pay for the United States and world safety and peace. Only fools would think differently. President Donald J. Trump posting to Truth Social. And more from that refinery that is in flames. A direct hit from Iran. But President Trump clearly knows. We also have this 500,000 people displaced in Lebanon. 10 days. Government shelters can hold 100,000. The other 400,000 are on their own. Non-Lebanese are being turned away entirely. Lebanon is a country that was already broken before the war even started.
It's Sunday morning in Beirut, and parishioners of St. Joseph's Church gather for worship. The congregation is made of various nationalities, as has long been the case. Some of them, though, won't be leaving after the service. Last Monday, St. Joseph once again became home to those fleeing Israeli airstrikes and had nowhere else to go.
We have 160 people, which is double our capacity right now. So last year we were way less. So for now, we are just letting people feel like home, settling in, feeling safe.
During the 2024 war, it became clear migrant workers and refugees were...
refugees are flooding into churches. And more on that. Here's another shot of that oil refinery. Look at this. This video after video flooding social media. Smoke rising into the sky. Just one more target by the Iranians in an attempt to cripple the oil supply in the United States. Reports and images of the Iranian strike. Here's even more footage. You can see all flooding social media. President Trump, though, he had one thing to say.
No, I don't want to brag, but, you know, they've said this about a lot of things. No other president could do some of this shit I'm doing. Yeah. No other president. The things I'm doing, nobody else was going to do them. They say it all the time. Sir, could you do this? You're the only one can do it.
President Trump, man, you got to love every single moment. But it's true. No lies told there. But here's what the establishment media and the doom and gloom crowd refused to acknowledge. President Trump isn't just responding to Iran's aggression. He's executing a master strategy that will reshape global energy markets in America's favor. As was pointed out, Trump has already freed the largest oil reserves in Venezuela. Now he's about to liberate the third largest reserves in Iran. China getting super cheap oil from both those countries, funding their military buildup against us. Shortly, all of that oil will flow to friends and not enemies. The president said it himself. Short-term oil price spikes are a small price to pay for us and world safety and peace. Only fools would think differently. This is what real leadership looks like. So I'm going to be crystal clear about what's happening. After 47 years of Iranian terrorism against America and our allies, after decades of energy market manipulation to pick the pockets of hardworking American families, President Trump is finally ending it. Gas prices are already $1.50 cheaper than they were under Biden. Secretary Wright says we'll be back below $3 a gallon in weeks, not months. This is the Trump administration delivering on promises while protecting American interests abroad. The Iranian regime thought they could hold the world hostage forever. They were absolutely wrong. So if you want to make sure you are the first to know of what happens next, text raw feed to 844-840-4963. Write that number down. Pause the screen. Text it after this video. I don't care as long as you get on that list so that you are not manipulated by the algorithm, so you aren't held hostage by the notifications that you never receive even though you want them. Okay? Raw feed 844-840-4963 for live intelligence updates. My friends, this is the question for you. Do you support President Trump's action to end Iran's energy terrorism once and for all? I just want to hear a yes or no in the comments if you're standing with America. And share this video with everybody who needs to understand what is really happening while the mainstream media runs cover for the mullahs, all right? Make sure, if you haven't done so yet, there's a merch shelf right below this video. Check out some gear. Pick something out you like. Wear your patriotism proudly. We got FAFO shirts, Operation Epic Fury. Get them while they last. This is a limited run. I'm Gary Franchi. Stay informed and stay free.
The system controls information. Information control is power.
They don't want you to see this.
The truth only survives together. They don't want this shared. Share this now.